The People First podcast is a show presented by people with learning disabilities for our friends and community. We talk about issues that are important to us and interview interesting people to find out the information. This is our way to make a difference and have our voices heard.
Welcome to the People First podcast. Today we are doing a show about a project that brings sport to people with disabilities and learning disabilities. Our guest Alex has come in to talk to us about his job and the work he's been doing. Thank you for coming on the show. We hope you enjoy yourself.
Could you explain your job role and the projects you're working on?
Well, thank you for having me, Jane and Jane. So my name's Alex. So I work for a charity called Mencap, and what the project that I'm working on is something called Our Active Community, Bradford. So the project itself it's across 9 different areas in England, and I look after 2 areas, being St Helens and Bradford. And what the project is we're trying to get people with learning disabilities more active. So we want to try and get people with learning disabilities walking more, like me and Luke were talking before, or we want to get them playing different types of sports. The project itself's 3 years long, so you're going to see me for 3 years. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and listen to different types of people and find out what people want to happen in their area, so happen in Bradford and happen in Keighley. So it could be lots of different activities that you do, and we try and help either pay for that, or we try and help do loads of different types of things to try and get people moving.
How did this project start, and what inspired it?
That's a brilliant question. The project started because the big organisation called Sport England, what they wanted to do is they wanted to see across the country people with learning disabilities becoming more active. So our Mencap it's nationwide. So it's an organisation, it's a charity that works everywhere. And what happened was that Keighley and Bradford was an area that came forward and was really interested in trying to get someone like myself to work within Bradford and to try and inspire people to take part in more sport. So yeah, I suppose in a lot of ways, what the reason why it started was that Sport England were able to help Mencap with some money, and Bradford and people in Bradford came forward and asked for help. So what we're trying to do now over the next 3 years is to try and get more people with learning disabilities moving a bit more and living a bit healthier lives.
What sports and activities do you do with people with disabilities?
Again, that's a brilliant question. We do anything. So there's no specific sports that we try and do, or we're helping to do. What we want to try and do is we want to try and do as wider opportunities as possible. So it could be anything from dancing to football, to walking, to cycling. It could be anything, really. A big thing that we want to do is to try and listen to people who learn disabilities and figure out what they do, and then try and help build on that. So it's not going to be a case of me coming in and saying, you must play football, something like that.
Oh no,
we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to try and listen what people like yourselves might enjoy doing. And if you enjoy doing loads of different things, then we'll help with trying to make that more accessible, or and get it to a point or in a place at a time that suits people with learning disabilities, try and get them moving more. But the most important thing that we're trying to do is trying to get people to do things they really enjoy. That's the most important part of it.
And can I just add that it's very important that those with disabilities of all kinds get out and about and as active as possible. I like walking, I like going to the gym, I do like swimming, but I've not swum for a while. I just like being active. Do you do any big trips, like any big cycling trips? Is there anything that you've done sort of a way to get groups more experienced and created?
No, so it's brilliant that you enjoy being active in with your walking and swimming and the gym. I don't deliver any sport or anything like that. So what we'll do is we'll work with organisations like People First, and we'll work with organisations like Bradford University, the local government. We'll work with Bradford Council. We'll work with loads of different organisations that we might be able to give them some money to do trips like that or to do opportunities like that. So what I need to do is I need to come and make really good relationships with yourselves and other people within Keighley and Bradford to try and figure out what's wanted to do and who can deliver it and how we can make that possible. But I used to work in school, so I used to be a teacher. So when I was a teacher, we did lots of different trips and we did lots of different organisations and lots of different fun activities and things like that. But not in this job. No, in this job now I need to work with yourselves and then work with other people to see what we can try and create.
Different kinds of what kinds of different kinds of disabilities who you work with.
So the different types of disabilities that I work with, it's specifically people with learning disabilities. So Mencap's a charity that works specifically with people with learning disabilities. So it's not a wide range of sort of physical and other things, but what we try and do is we try and work with as many people as possible, and that could be with individuals that have other needs maybe, but it's specifically with those with learning disabilities. Just try and give them a platform to be active and a platform for support and things like that, really.
How do you support people to take part in sports and activities?
It's a great question. I support people to take part in sport and sports and activities by working with organisations such as People First and working with different organisations within Bradford that have maybe opportunities already in place. What I'll try to do is I'll try to work with them to try and figure out what is already happening, but also speaking to people with learning disabilities that are able then to tell me what they want to do. So I'll support it by trying to figure out what everyone wants to do and then work with different organisations to try and make that happen. So it could be someone might be into dancing, and I work with the different organisations to try and set the dancing up, and then we might take the person to the dancing to take part in some activity.
Do you have to work as a team? How do you work together?
Yeah, so we have to work as a team within Bradford, really, and the district. So it's my responsibility, it's my job to make people work together. So we want to try and get as many people, as many organisations as possible within Bradford and the surrounding areas to work together to try and improve different opportunities for people with learning disabilities. And the way in which we'll do that is through meeting yourselves and do a podcast like we are doing right now, but also through talking to as many people as possible and figuring out what types of things we can try and fix and what types of things we could try and create to try and make Bradford and Keighley and the other areas as best places what it could possibly be. But it's important to work as a team. It's definitely in sport and different physical activities. Working as a team's a big thing, isn't it?
Yes.
And I've always played sport. I've always played football and cricket and things like that. So I've always worked part as a team, and it's really important to work as a team.
I just want to add to that, teamwork as well as independent work is very important, and hiking, when I go out with the group, it's not just a walk like you would do in a park or something. We all bond together, we all help. If whenever we get new faces, it's our job to make them welcome and feel part of it all, and that helps us when we do our big finale in the summer, when we all imagine, for example, a person who was completely able-bodied helping a cane user who's blind up a mountain. It's their job as well to keep them safe.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's like cycling as well. When you see the the red light on a road, stop. When you see a green light, start position and off you go.
Yeah, it's really important. That's really good teamwork, especially going up some of the mountains which you've been up and other things that you've done in the past. So it's really important to work as a team, isn't it?
It's very important, and that's why you should check the UBU website out, because we've done some amazing feats since 2017, or when I started in 2018. It's been an amazing journey so far, and I hope that we can hopefully go even further now.
Do you get carers and families involved in the project as well?
Yeah, we can do, yeah. So working with different organisations or different places means that carers or family are involved with the individuals, doesn't it? So what we want to do is we want to try and remove as many different barriers or things that are stopping people moving. And if one of them barriers is the fact that families and carers can't get involved as well, then we want to remove that, just to try and get as many people more active and moving as possible. So it's my job to go and find organisations or find individuals and find out what they want and really work with them to try and create different opportunities. And if that means that it's carers and families is being involved in different activities, then sounds fantastic. Sounds really good. Sounds really positive.
In our research, we found out you are also a football coach for Mossley AFC. What do you love about football coaching, and what team do you support?
Well, yeah, some good research then. I'm the assistant manager at Mossley AFC. It's a semi-professional football team, and I've done that for 4 or 5 years. And I do that in my spare time. So I do that alongside my full-time job as well. And yeah, things I love about football coaching. I've coached football for about 15 years now. And I love being, we were talking earlier about being part of a team, and I love being part of a team, and I love being part of a community, and Mossley is a community club, so there's lots of fans that come and watch, and there's lots of people that are involved in it, and it brings a lot of happiness to people. So I really enjoy that part of it, and seeing, making players improve so players can go and play at a higher level and be the best version of themselves. But also like being part of a community club that sees people with all types of abilities and all types of additional needs come into a club and get involved and feel really safe, and that's what Mossley is to me. It's an area where it's a club where it's such a community and people can come and feel safe and enjoy watching football. Teams that I support though, it's I support one of the greatest teams on earth in Huddersfield Town. We haven't done very well lately. But yeah, no. So I've coached football in my spare time, and yeah, football's probably my favourite sport, and it's something I really enjoy.
What is your favourite part of the sports project you are doing?
My favourite part of the sports project is meeting you guys and doing podcasts and being out and about in the areas and talking to as many different people as possible to try and help as many different people. So my favourite part so far is meeting people like yourselves and doing podcasts, doing interviews, and really trying to make as big a difference in Bradford and as big a difference in Keighley as possible. And we've managed to try and work together in different organisations, both in St Helens and in Bradford, to try and make as big an impact and make the communities as best a place as what they can be. So it's been really enjoyable so far. I started in January, so I'm about 4 or 5 months or something like that.
4 months?
Yeah, so I've not been here long, Luke, no. So yeah, we're trying to make as big an impact at the moment, but one thing that you're all lucky enough that you'll be seeing me a lot more over the next 3 years, so we'll make as big a impact there, can't we?
We'd like to attend some of these events that you've mentioned today.
Brilliant,
These,
yeah.
Those footy events, football events.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder, do you plan to hold like a few celebrations along the way that we could all attend, because we love that sort of thing?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. So what we want to host as many things as possible, and if that's celebration events, if that's big football events, if that's walking, if that's as many things as what the community asks for, then yeah, we'll try and host it and we'll try and hold it.
About a summer event with lots of activities going off.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Well, people, you've got a wellbeing week, haven't you?
We have.
Yeah.
We've.
What different kinds of disabilities do the people who you work with have? What plans have you got for the future?
Good question. What we want to do in the future is we want to try and make Bradford and Keighley and surrounding areas a really good, happy place for people who learn disabilities. So that could be through many, many different ways. But what we want to try and do is we want to try and put people who learn disabilities at the front of the community. So have people who learn disabilities that are making decisions for the community, how we spend money, what types of activities that we do, organisations. In the future, I'd love to see a team of organisations that all work together from the council.
Years, quite a few years ago now, did the wheelchair in Leeds, and I'd really like to do that again.
Brilliant, yeah. It's really good. So what I want to do in the future is I want to come back and talk to yourselves and have some discussions about different types of things that you want to see. And then I can go away and work with different organisations to try and make them things happen.
I really like being in the countryside.
Right, yeah.
And because I lived in Oxford for a while. And I just really like to find more, like walkways into the countryside.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have to look that one up.
It's also making them ways chair friendly as well, isn't it? It's been really important that knowing what you want to try and do, but it's also needs to make sure that them things are accessible, and it's not and that's not a barrier. So no, absolutely. So what we're going to do in the future is you'll see me again, and we can talk through types of things that you want, and try and make it happen. Yeah, good. No, we can make that happen, definitely.
Well, that's all we have time for today, but a big thank you must go to Alex for giving up his time to come in. We always end by asking you, Alex, do you have anything else to add? Have you enjoyed it?
No, I've nothing more to add, and yeah, I've absolutely loved it. This is the first ever podcast I've done, and you've all asked some questions fantastically, so well done.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Remember to comment, like, share on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can find us by searching for the People First podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.